Hello, everyone. Welcome to the News Browse News broadcast. Global News reports that Canada's top Mountie, RCMP Commissioner Mike Duame, has apologized for the force's decision to conduct a training exercise in Debert, Nova Scotia, just days before the 6th anniversary of the province's worst mass shooting. In a letter to Nova Scotia MP Alana Hurdle, Duame acknowledged that the exercises caused harm and trauma to residents of Debert, one of the communities where Gabriel Wortman fatally shot 22 people on April 18-19, 2020. Hurdle publicly stated that the RCMP's planning was insensitive, tone-deaf, and unacceptable. The RCMP subsequently ended the large-scale tactical exercises early to prevent them from coinciding with the sensitive anniversary. New Quebec Premier Christine Fréchette has pledged a tooth-and-nail fight against Ottawa to defend the use of the notwithstanding clause, a constitutional provision allowing provinces to override certain sections of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Fréchette, who was sworn in just 2 days prior, made these remarks ahead of her first meeting with Prime Minister Carney in Ottawa on Friday, April 17, 2026. She emphasized the clause's importance for Quebec, particularly in light of Federal Justice Minister Sean Fraser's concerns about its application and suggestions for regulation. Quebec has historically used this clause to protect legislation, including its secularism law. During her meeting with Prime Minister Carney, discussions also touched upon immigration, housing, major projects, and Quebec's demands for a more equitable distribution of asylum seekers and federal assistance in finalizing a hydroelectric deal with Newfoundland and Labrador. Fréchette stressed the need for respect for Quebec's nationhood and jurisdiction. This report is from the Canadian Press. CTV News reports that 3 men have been charged and a 4th suspect remains at large in connection with a series of carjackings and vehicle thefts across Toronto. The incidents took place between March 26 and April 3, with victims targeted in various areas. On March 26, surveillance footage captured 3 masked men in black exiting a silver vehicle to carjack a woman's Audi on her driveway near Lawrence Avenue West and Avenue Road. On April 3, another white Audi SUV was stolen from a driveway near Avenue Road and Glengarry Avenue in the early hours. Later that same day, 2 masked men forcibly removed a woman from her car near Bayview Avenue and Hillsdale Avenue East, though she sustained no physical injuries. That afternoon, another woman was assaulted, and her purse and car keys were stolen by 2 men near Wicksteed Avenue and Laird Drive. Following a traffic stop on April 5 near Don Mills Road and Lawrence Avenue East, police arrested 3 male suspects from Toronto, aged 18, 19, and 21. They collectively faced 24 charges, including possession of property obtained by crime. Police have not disclosed their identities and are seeking public assistance to locate the outstanding 4th suspect. According to the Canadian Press, newly released federal data indicates a significant slowdown in Canada's greenhouse gas (GHG) emissions reductions in 2024. The annual National Inventory Report, quietly published by Environment and Climate Change Canada, shows a mere 0.3% drop in emissions compared to 2023, bringing the total to 685 megatons of CO2 equivalent. This modest reduction places Canada well behind its ambitious goal of cutting emissions by 45% below 2005 levels by 2030. Since 2005, emissions have only decreased by 10.3%, requiring a substantial 227 million ton reduction in the next 6 years to meet the target. The report highlights that increased emissions from the oil and gas and agriculture sectors largely offset gains made in electricity production, transportation, and buildings. Notably, Oil and gas production alone accounts for 30% of Canada's total emissions. The findings come amid political shifts, with Prime Minister Mark Carney's administration rolling back climate measures like the consumer carbon price and a planned emissions cap on oil and gas. Environment Minister Julie Daberson's office, however, stated that Canada remains committed to its Paris targets, emphasizing record-low methane levels. Former Environment Minister Stephen Guilbeault acknowledged the time needed for measures to take effect, but stressed the necessity of strengthening climate policies, especially for the oil and gas sector. Canada's 10% reduction since 2005 positions it among the worst performers in the G7, a point likely to be discussed as Daberson prepares to meet international counterparts and G7 environment ministers. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney today urged world leaders to ensure the safe resumption of shipping through the Strait of Hormuz following its reopening and a ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon. From Radio Canada International, it is reported that Carney participated virtually in a summit with dozens of international leaders in Paris, co-hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. The discussions focused on securing the vital waterway, which had been closed by Iran during its conflict with the United States, causing significant disruption to global energy markets. While U.S. President Donald Trump declared the strait open, he stated that a U.S. naval blockade would remain. Carney's office indicated Canada's readiness to assist diplomatic efforts for safe passage and crew security, but did not commit to military aid as part of the planned international mission for maritime security. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.